It's so good.
It's so good.
Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio. I am one half of the greatest radio tag team in all of Texas. The Captain Joey Savage. Across from me, Suck It Zach, my heterosexual life partner.
Corey DLG.
And that's Nico.
Hey, you guys, what's going on?
That
over
is
Nico.
Nico.
Shout out. Okay, hand signs, finger guns, we're in there.
whatever. Pow, 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 pow. Pew, pew, pew.
No gang signs.
So,
No gang signs.
let's, I'm not gang signs. My fingers have arthritis.
Oh, my apologies.
So, let's wrap things up.
Okay.
Let's do,
All right, see you guys later.
let's do another edition of
All right, music,
Around
back
the
on.
World in Sports.
Yeah, we're going to go specific here.
Let's go specific. Let's start with
Houston sports.
Houston
here.
Rockets. Go ahead.
Houston Rockets. So they had a very successful series against the Thunder.
They did.
Now they're in the middle of their second round here at this point. They're about to start the second round here at this point. And what I really enjoyed was I was a little nervous about catching the Thunder round one.
Yeah, me too.
Because Russell Westbrook and James Harden have essentially run parallel seasons
All season.
and I kind of feel like whoever won this series was going to determine who had the better season.
I think so as well.
Now, I do think they're going to give Russell Westbrook the MVP.
Probably.
I think that's a done deal because averaging the triple-double is a big deal. It is.
It is. I mean, as good as James Harden is, he
didn't
does
average-
have a good cast.
Right.
to go with it.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, his cast is probably a little bit better than the Thunder's.
Right.
But neither one of these teams are really playoff teams. Like, if James Harden or Russell Westbrook wasn't on one of their
No,
teams,
definitely not.
neither one of these teams is a playoff team.
We could be the 8th seed, maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think we could have ended up at 8th seed.
I don't.
Definitely
But-
not the Thunder.
Definitely not the Thunder. But here's the thing.
Averaging a triple-double is a huge deal.
It is.
It's a big
So
deal.
he earned the MVP doing that. But I do think the story of the season, like which one of them is going to feel better about the year, was going to be dependent on who won this matchup. And the thing about Russell Westbrook is he can steal a few games.
Yeah.
So
He
ideally,
stole one.
my fear going into it was that, okay, if we miss our three-pointers for 3 games in a row and Russell Westbrook just goes off monkey style and, like, Sam Adams is, like,
Monkey style.
and next thing you know, like, we're down 2 games. Like, it would have been a really – but that's not what happened.
It really was.
And it was a really awesome series for us. Very dynamic. They did a very good job. I will say I had one little complaint.
Go ahead. Hit me with it.
Game 5.
Game 5.
We're down 8 points coming out of the half.
Right.
They interviewed Mike D'Antoni, and then they aired it coming into the third, the start of the third.
Okay.
He looked really confused.
I don't know what's happening.
Right. Like, he was like, we're playing great defense, but he's just making his shots, and we're missing ours, so that's all it is.
That's it.
And so,
we
like,
just need to make our
coming
shots.
out of the first half, we shot, I think, 30% from three-point line.
It wasn't good.
No, it was 31% from the field. From three-point line, it was awful. I think we were 1 for, like, 11 at that point.
Not good.
And
So good.
Right. And so, like, I could get him being frustrated, and I would love it if my coach was frustrated.
Especially coming off of Game 4.
where we were on fire.
Well, Game
Couldn't
4,
miss.
well, Harden didn't play a great Game 4, but
No.
Nene played
Amazing.
out of his mind. So then you come off of that where Harden didn't have a great game, and you come into Game 5, which
And
you
no
can
one's
seal
having
it,
a good
and
game.
No,
And so, like,
my
but
plan fired. My best player is not playing right.
but what I don't want to see is I don't want to see a coach who literally he actually said to the guy to the interviewer he said well, if you think you got a better idea, I'm more than happy to hear it. Like, I don't want to hear. I want my coach to be like, look, we're missing our shots. They're making theirs. It's just a run. We're gonna ride it out. Emotion's gonna die down, and we're gonna win this game.
It's like
I want calm.
I don't know how we stop Russell Westbrook. Do you have an idea?
Right.
You don't have an idea? Hey, you guy over there, row 12. You have an
Yeah,
idea?
yeah.
How do I stop him? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, are you selling beer? Or do you have an idea? Oh, you're selling beer. Okay.
I do really like the
Sell beer
Pat
too.
Bev quote. Because they were, him and Westbrook
They started
were
to
John,
jaw at each other.
and he's like, I scored 42 points. No one can hold me. He's like, yeah, but you took 80 shots to get there.
Right. So Patrick Beverly apparently was trying to explain to Russell Westbrook in some uncivil words
Yes.
how Patrick Beverly plays first team All NBA defense. And Russell Westbrook was like, scoreboard, bro, I got 40 points. And Beverly was like, on how many shots, though?
It took you 80 to get there.
Which is an accurate point. The thing about Russell Westbrook now, especially on this Thunder's team,
Yeah.
it's very a la Allen Iverson, 76ers.
Yeah, definitely.
Where they were just like, do whatever you want with the ball. It's okay. So Allen Iverson shot, he shot about, I think a couple of years there, he actually averaged between 38 and 40%.
Right.
Like, it wasn't a good shooting percentage from the field, but they gave him the ball 45 times,
Right.
so he was averaging like 30 points a
took
game.
60 shots, and so he
Right.
made 35 points a game.
Right. And that's not what you want. Ideally, that's not efficient, But if you only got one guy who deserves to have the ball, do whatever
Right.
you want.
So
and
we're
that's
getting
kind of the
behind
Russell Westbrook syndrome.
the Red Nation going forward here.
Right. So they're rolling in round 2. I think they can do this, but at some point they're going to hit the buzzsaw.
They're going to hit Golden State.
Right. I think Golden State.
Which was fun last year.
Hey, maybe this time it'll be more than 4 games.
Yeah, maybe. So let's jump over NBA or the NFL draft over the weekend.
The draft was over the weekend.
It used to be like one of the biggest deals in my life. Like I literally considered it a holiday.
I did too.
Back in the day when it was all day on a Saturday, but now it's spread out the past few years.
When they went Friday night, Saturday, I was still okay with it.
Now it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Anyways,
Too many days.
Let's just go round 1. Let's talk round 1 for sure. The Texans had picked 23, 24 to start the
I think
night.
23, and they had previously coming into this given up a second-round pick to Cleveland to get rid of Brock Osweiler.
Correct.
So this first-round pick was super important because there wasn't going to be anything behind it.
So round 3.
Right.
And they traded up to number 12.
Again with Cleveland.
And
they took Deshaun Watson.
The quarterback from Clemson.
National champion, Clemson.
How do you feel about this?
Of the quarterbacks in this draft, there was only one I liked, and it was Deshaun Watson.
So there was 3 quarterbacks that went in the first round. For some whatever reason, the Chicago Bears traded up from number 3 to number 2 and gave up
a king's ransom to move up 2
it wasn't
spots.
that bad. They gave up 2 3s and a 4. That's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's 2 3s and a 4s, but it's not like they didn't give up 2 1s and a 2 to get there.
No, but think about what you're saying. They gave up 3 draft picks.
Right. No, to go up 1.
To go up 1 spot.
No, the 49ers made out great, but I wouldn't say it was like,
my God. If you're the guy who hires John Lynch and Mike Shanahan Jr.,
Kyle Shanahan.
if you hire Mike Shanahan Jr. and John Lynch, give them 6-year deals, and in their first offseason together with the number 2 pick, they trade back 1 spot and get 3 extra players for it, you look super smart. Like John Lynch
Calculated.
Right. John Lynch is a safety who's known for knocking people's heads off, and suddenly he's a general manager, and suddenly he's trade savvy.
Then he drafted a DT from Stanford that is just like...
Well, you know what's funny is listen to the radio. All 3 members of the radio team thought San Francisco traded up to take...
the Bears traded up?
Yeah.
Because
they thought the Bears traded up to take the
No,
tackle
they did. So
I was took.
So you were driving home from work, and I was watching.
Right.
And they have... On the 4-man pit crew, it's Mike Mayock, and then the other guy that's always there,
right?
Eisner or whatever. And then they have Stanford's head coach with them, and some other guy. And so when they make the trade up, everyone thought that the Niners were going to take that safety, the dude from LSU that's a beast.
Oh, see.
And so
they were saying the DT is what the Bears wanted.
No, the 49ers were going to select the safety.
At 2.
So it was like, okay, well, if we move down to 3... No one's going to take him. No one's going to trade up to take this guy, even though he's probably the second best athlete in the entire draft.
Right.
And so as they traded up, as the commissioner's coming out, all they're talking about is this DT from Stanford. And the head coach is just talking about how great he is. And the first year he actually had to play out of position. He only played nose guard. So like this last year was his first year in his true position.
Right.
He's just a beast and he's fast and blah, blah, blah. And then they come up and the Bears say, we'll take a quarterback.
Yeah, Mitch
Trubisky from North Carolina, who's played 12 college games.
13 starts.
13 starts. He's played 13 starts.
And he's the number 2 pick. And not only is he the number 2 pick, the Bears just spent a lot of money
on Mike Glennon. And
then just gave up a lot of picks to get this guy.
Yeah.
There's now pressure. If you're the Bears, no matter what you do at quarterback, you're wrong. Because you traded up to draft a kid, number 2 overall, and you paid a lot of money for a quarterback.
Well, after the whole thing, they're saying because this kid could be great.
But he needs some seasoning.
He needs some time. He can sit behind the veteran Mike Glennon, which I don't think Mike Glennon's that great. But
well, first of all, Mike Glennon is barely a veteran. He's only been in the league 4 years himself.
Right, so he's going to sit behind him in season.
Veteran.
So here's what happened to Mike Glennon. He just went from the potential future of the Bears to stopgap. You've got 2 years at best, Mike Glennon. Better make the best of it.
So then you had the Chiefs who traded up and took that kid from Texas Tech, who I wasn't really high on.
No, I wasn't either. So I was super happy to see those two.
I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe Watson will drop all the way to us at 23, and then they pull off a trade.
Right.
They gave up a little bit for him. They did. They
did. They gave up another first-round pick.
But this guy plays when the lights come on at night, so hopefully.
And here's the thing about Deshaun Watson. I thought he was the best quarterback in this draft, and most importantly, while his game tape isn't the cleanest, the guy's a winner. When the fourth quarter starts, he looks at the scoreboard. And then he tells his team, we're going to do whatever it takes to win.
What's the one thing that the Texans have always lacked at the quarterback position?
strength of leadership.
And mobility.
Yeah, mobility.
No
too.
mobility. I mean, Case Keenum had a little bit. Brian Hoyer had a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're bringing this kid who can make some throws. He's got mobility. Plus, I mean, look at the cast around him. I mean,
Yeah.
they got great wide receivers, a solid running game.
The line's a little spotty, so you want a quarterback who can run because
Right.
you're going to have to.
Right.
My big concern with that is Bill O'Brien going to try and talk him into staying in the pocket?
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Which I hope he does. I hope he just says this first year until we get the line thing situated. I hope he just says, run.
I feel bad for my cousin Tom Savage. He was really thinking he was going to get the starting nod, which you never know. He might come out.
He might.
He may
Because
come out.
a lot of people were saying how Deshaun Watson needs more time.
Also, haven't seen any. The Browns actually had a decent draft so far, and they didn't take a quarterback. So I guess Brocky O is going to be their quarterback.
They haven't cut him yet.
Yeah, they
haven't
haven't.
cut
They
him
don't
yet.
have anybody else, unless they go.
What if
They cut RG3.
What if they don't cut him, and he still can't start over whoever it is that they've got?
And
There
they have
right
to pay
now?
him all that money.
Well, they don't care. I mean,
No, the Browns.
they're the Browns. They pay all kinds of people money for not playing. They're
Right.
terrible.
It's just funny how the Cavs and the Indians can get it right, but not the Cleveland Browns.
Well, let's be real clear. The Cavs only get it right because of LeBron James.
But they got it right.
LeBron James.
Who cares? They got it right with LeBron James.
That's true, but he forces that franchise to do everything. They never want to do it, and he's like, if you don't get me this guy, I'm gone.
Right. That's
And-
awesome.
And they're like, okay, LeBron James.
Right. They're
Yes,
like,
sir,
let's-
LeBron.
Let's
Yes,
not
sir,
blow
Mr.
this
LeBron.
again.
Okay, LeBron.
God, it's so crazy.
What's crazy is we just made it through episode 45.
And there you go. There's our ESPN
Is that
audition.
true? That's
46.
40. I thought we were in the
50.
50s.
Oh, yeah, 50. You know what it is? I went to put up episode 54 on Twitter, and I accidentally typed in 44, so then I had to like erase it and start over. Yeah, episode 55.
Wow.
Junior Seau days.
Boom.
Here we are. Had to get in there. Thanks for listening. I'm the Captain Joey Savage.
I'm Corey DLG.
That's Nico DLG.
Yeah,
We are
I'm
Nerd Thug
pressing
Radio.
Hashtag talking nerdy to you. We didn't even talk about the Astros.
No, we don't need to. They're
Ducked it.
great. They're good. Check out nerdthugradio.com. Follow us on facebook.com/nerdthugradio.